The experience of building your dream new construction home is an amazing feeling. But sometimes you can get caught up in all that excitement and you can miss important details to have a smooth process. With inflation and everything continuing to increase in the market, as well as confusion on what's considered a good deal as well as a bad deal, it's very easy to make a bad decision when it comes to new construction homes. In this video, I'm going to uncover all the pitfalls that come with buying new construction homes in Las Vegas. Let's talk about the first thing that happens when you go into contract with a new construction home. I want to begin this conversation talking to you about earnest money deposit, or EMD. Earnest money deposit is a sum of money that the buyer provides to the seller to show how interested and serious they are about buying that property. It's typically held in an escrow account until the contract is completed or terminated. The simple answer is when you're buying a home, you're going to have to submit a small deposit, which is called earnest money, to the seller just to show them how serious you are and how much you really want that home. Earnest money is typically going to be 1 to 3% of the purchase price. Now, when you're dealing with new construction homes, the home builder is going to be the one who sets that price. A couple of things to remember when it comes to EMD is you're never going to submit earnest money in the form of cash. It's always going to be submitted to the title company who oversees the escrow account. The good thing about earnest money deposit is it's included in your down payment for the home. So when you get your final numbers and figures from your lender and they tell you exactly how much your down payment is, all you have to do is subtract what you put in for your earnest money deposit on top of what the total balance is. Now, sometimes you can use higher earnest money deposits as a negotiating tactic when you're buying a home, but it's not always going to win you the offer, and it's a case-by-case scenario. Let's quickly cover some do's and don'ts when it comes to earnest money deposit. First, you need to understand the terms of your earnest money deposit. You need to know how you can forfeit it as well as how it can be returned to you if you don't go through with the contract. Number 2, get everything in writing. I don't need to go into much into detail how it's important to have everything in writing so you have some reference and a paper trail overall. Number 3, confirm receipt. When you're sending a large amount of money like this to a title company for the earnest money deposit, it's very important to make sure you've confirmed that they actually received it and the wire went through. Now let's go into the don'ts. Number 1, don't ignore the contract terms. You want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that you understand everything in your contract so you know what's required as well as the deadlines it's due. Number 2, avoid making large deposits of earnest money beyond what is due, because I mentioned to you earlier in this video that earnest money deposit, you can put a little bit more than what they're asking for, but it's not always going to work in your favor, and it's a case-by-case scenario. And that's why another don't that I want to tell you about is don't overspend on the earnest money deposit because it increases your risk and you don't know if you're always going to win with a higher earnest money deposit. Number 3, don't forget to communicate to the home builder, the lender, as well as the title company. The worst thing that you can do in the process of buying a new construction home is go ghost and not communicate with them, because then they'll start making decisions for you, and then that's going to cause a headache for you in the long run. Number 4, don't miss any deadlines. New home builders typically have interest lists, and when those interest lists are long, if you miss deadlines, you might get bumped out of your contract just to bring someone else who's more serious and won't miss deadlines. So make sure you're reading the fine print and understand exactly when things are due. Now I want to talk to you about bidding wars, because this can happen in new construction as well as in resale homes, but let's specifically talk about how it affects you on the new construction side. In the market that we're in right now, demand is much higher than supply, and that's creating a lot of frenzy in the market because you have so many people who are looking at the same homes. Now, bidding wars can happen in a few different ways, so I'm going to quickly break them down for you. Number 1, high demand and low supply. This is simple economics that when you have a higher demand and a lower supply, it's going to create bidding wars because you don't have that much inventory and you have so many people looking at that same amount of inventory. So it's going to create bidding wars. Number 2, desirable locations. This is another way that you can have a bidding war if your home is in a desirable location, because it's going to be more favorable to more people than just yourself. So if you're looking at something on a corner lot or a specific area, this oftentimes might have a bidding war because there are other people who are looking at those positives just like you. Number 3, market conditions. Make sure that you're always paying attention to what's going on in the market, because it'll help you understand exactly where you are and if you're going to be putting yourself in a position for a bidding war. When the market is high like it is right now with higher interest rates as well as higher home prices, there isn't as much competition. But when the home prices potentially drop, or when the market for interest rates potentially drop, you're going to end up having a higher increase of bidding wars because more people are going to be coming into the market. Something that you might not know is 1% of an interest rate drop is going to bring millions of buyers back into the market. So in your best interest, it would be a good idea to go after homes now versus when everyone else is waiting for those rates to drop. Now, when it comes to navigating a bidding war, there's a couple different strategies that I use with my clients, and I can go through them with you right now. The first strategy is being financially prepared. When I have my clients and they're going out looking at new construction homes, I encourage them to get pre-approved before we even start looking at these new construction homes. The reason why I recommend doing this is because when you walk into that sales office, it already shows that sales agent that you're very serious and willing and able to purchase these new construction homes. This can also sometimes put you at the top of their interest list because they know you're already approved and you don't have to go through the approval process in order for them to figure out, can you afford the home? Another strategy that I use with my clients is coming up with a realistic budget and sticking to it. You don't ever have to worry about going into a bidding war if you have a budget that you're sticking to, because when other people are going after that home, if it exceeds your budget, you back out. Now, we're talking about bidding wars, so I'm very curious to know how far in a bidding war you would go. Let me know in the comments how far down that rabbit hole you would go when it comes to bidding wars. If there's one thing new home buyers forget about when it comes to new construction homes, is lot premiums. When it comes to new construction homes, everything has to be accounted for, including the lot. The lot is not free and you have to pay for it. Home builders are going to charge a premium for different lots based off of where it is in the community, and you're going to have to pay that premium in order to get that lot. Now, lot premiums can vary based off of the location, the size, the view, and even how close it is to different amenities. So in short, the more attractive that lot is, the more expensive that it is going to be when it comes to paying for that lot. To give you an idea of what to expect when it comes to lot premiums in Las Vegas, let's go through a list so you can see what the average cost of these lots are. In many communities, a standard lot in Las Vegas is one that doesn't have as many features, and they're going to have little to no premium. This premium can be anywhere from $0 all the way up to about $10,000. Now, lots that have views of the strip, the mountains, or a golf course are going to have a higher increase in the premium price. This lot premium can be anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 depending on the location of that lot. Now, corner lots are going to typically have more space as well as privacy, and that's going to include a higher lot premium as well. Typically for a corner lot, you can expect to spend about $10,000 to $20,000. Now, lots at the end of a cul-de-sac are going to have a decrease in traffic as well as more increase in privacy, and that's going to be a premium as well. You can expect to spend about $5,000 to $15,000 on an end of the lot cul-de-sac. Now, those oversized lots that are going to have more space for landscaping as well as recreational features, these are also going to be a premium lot to buy. You can expect to spend about $20,000 to $50,000 on these type of oversized lots. Now, lots that are going to be located near all the amenities like pools, parks, and playgrounds are going to be anywhere from about $5,000 to $20,000. Whether you're new to my channel or been watching for a while, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Chris Brown, and I'm a real estate advisor with Simply Vegas. Here on my channel, I help you find your new home whether you're local or relocating from somewhere else. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you don't miss any of the good, the bad, the ugly about living in Las Vegas. If you happen to be watching this on a TV screen, scan the QR code. And if you would like to reach out to me directly, you can use my contact information linked in the description below. Now, my least favorite part about new construction homes is the potential for lottery systems. And I can't stress this enough how much I truly hate lotteries when it comes to buying a new construction home. And the reason why I hate them so much is because 99.9% of the time, they're unfair to the home buyer. Let me give you an example. I was working with my client from Chicago who's relocating to Las Vegas, and we were shopping for homes in a new construction community called Inspirada. My client did all his research and he knew that this was the community for him, and he specifically wanted to build a new construction home with a home builder out here called KB Homes. The home overall was fantastic, but the process in order to secure that home was a terrible experience. Once we narrowed down what home that he really wanted, we went ahead to the KB sales home office and put our name on their interest list. We also went through their pre-approval process to put us higher up on their interest list so they'd know how serious we were about purchasing that home. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what an interest list is when a home builder has several people who are interested in homes in their community, and they put them all on this working document to see how many people will want particular homes. Some people might want the same home, some might want others, but there's an interest list to show exactly what you're interested in at that community. The unfortunate part about these interest lists is they're not first come, first serve. Let me tell you how they were going about picking who won these lots for different various home sites. Every 1 to 2 weeks, the home builder would release new homes, and they would send out an email telling you what homes are released as well as what pricing reflects the homes that were released. You then had to respond to that email by a specific deadline on what home you want as well as what lot you want. After you responded to that email by the deadline, the home builder then put everyone who responded into a list on a website called spinthewheel.com. And I'm not joking, that's exactly what it's called. It's called spinthewheel.com. And everyone who was on that list, they hit a button, and whoever that list landed on spinthewheel.com, that is who won the lot that was being released for the weekend. Mind you, there's only about 2 to 4 lots being released and about 30 or so people who were entered into that spin the wheel. This process got repeated over and over every week to 2 weeks, and you can essentially get on that list every single time and lose every single time. This is exactly what happened to my client and I. We lost for 4 straight drawings, and my client got a little irritated. Well, not a little, he got a lot irritated, and he ended up saying, screw these drawings and screw these lotteries. Let's go find another home where I can actually find a home site that I fall in love with and want to relocate to. And we did just that. We ended up going around the corner to another home builder in Inspirada called Tri-Point Homes, and there was no lottery system. It was first comes, first served, and my client got exactly what he wanted. Although we're very happy with where we are now with Tri-Point Homes, getting to that point was a very frustrating experience. You often see these lottery systems when there's a high demand for homes. And I totally get it. You have to find a way to filter out interest lists and buyers when they're interested in these homes at these new communities. But at the same time, I personally feel like there needs to be some fairness into it, and you can't have clients coming in losing every time because it gives them no hope. But that's just my opinion. I'd appreciate it if you let me know in the comments what you think about that situation. The best way to avoid these type of situations is hiring a great real estate advisor like myself who has relationships in the city with new construction builders, and I know who to talk to and what other options that might be available if we can't get into the community that you're really interested in. Now let's have a quick pop quiz, because I know I shared a lot with you so far in this video, and the first person to answer correctly will get a personal shout out from me. Now this is going to be a multiple choice question. What does not affect the price of a lot premium? Is it A, the size? Is it B, the location? Is it C, the view? Or is it D, the zip code? If you're buying a home in today's real estate market, you'll notice that a lot of home builders are offering incentives to make you more enticed to buy a home in their community. Some of these incentives can include appliance packages, closing cost assistance, as well as upgraded features. But the most important and most valuable to you right now in this kind of market is essentially going to be rate buy downs. We all know that interest rates are a little high right now, and a lower rate is potentially going to affect your monthly payment, which is a good thing for you. One of my clients who I recently worked with received all of the incentives that I just went over, as well as an additional incentive just because she was a nurse. Although all of these incentives are good for you as a buyer, it's important for you to understand what you're giving up in order to receive those incentives. I say this to say is because you have to read the fine print when it comes to these incentives. Many times these builders work in these discounts by upcharging on other areas of your home. So if you're just signing all your documents and not really paying attention to what you're signing, you could potentially be signing off on paying more for the cost of your home because the builder is trying to offset the price that they're giving away in discounts from that incentive. In a previous transaction with one of my clients, this is exactly what happened. My clients were given a ton of incentives, and when it came down to closing, we saw a lot of discrepancies that didn't add up, and we realized that we were paying more for the home than we actually should be. In order to get these incentives, you usually have to use an in-house lender that is working with the builder. Fortunately for my clients, we're about 2 weeks away from closing, and we changed lenders from the in-house lender with the builder to another lender that wasn't even in Nevada. But we went with this lender because their rates were so much better than what the lender was offering with the builder that we were able to find a better deal for them elsewhere. This new lender not only beat the prices of the mortgage lender from the builder, but they also had saved my clients money and put it back into their pockets. It's super important who you hire because those details are so important that it can make or break how much money you lose or how much money you make in the transaction. The biggest part about buying a new construction home is knowing how to protect yourself. Now, I know buying a new construction home is an exciting time, but this process has so much going on. You need to make sure that you're protecting yourself at every step. Here's a couple steps to ensure that you're always protecting yourself and your investment on your real estate property. First things first, I'm going to say it again. Make sure you hire a qualified and knowledgeable real estate advisor like myself. I work with new construction homes when it comes to buyers as well as sellers, and it's important for you to hire someone like myself because I know exactly how that process should go. And when something is funny going on in that process, I'm able to call it out so you can make sure that you're protecting your investment in the long run. Although new home builders have their set prices, everything is always going to be negotiable if you have the right advisor helping guide you through the process. I'm actually experiencing this right now with a couple of my clients who are relocating from San Diego all the way to Las Vegas and Sky Canyon, and they've been going through a literal terrible experience in my opinion when it comes to one of the top luxury home builders here in Las Vegas. This home builder has literally been trying to bully my clients from start to where we are now. And if I wasn't available to help my clients and be able to step in and call out what was wrong, my clients would have probably got screwed over. I'm very happy that they were able to find me through YouTube, because now they have a vested interest in not only my platform, because they understand that I really know what I'm doing when it comes to new construction homes. Now, we're still going through some issues with this new home builder out here in Las Vegas, and I'm hoping that we can resolve that here soon. But if we can't, I'm gonna tell you guys, there's so much that I've learned from this experience, and I know that there's more that goes into the layers of buying a new construction home, and I wanna share that knowledge with all of you. The next step in protecting yourself is making sure that you're doing your own research when it comes to buying any home, not just new construction. Just like I mentioned to you earlier in this video, my client from Chicago already did his homework on Inspirata, and he knew that was the place for him. Buying a home is going to be one of your biggest life purchases ever, and why would you not do your homework to make sure that you're protecting your investment as well as your money? I've said this numerous times as well in this video. Make sure that you're reading through your contracts and you understand what you're signing. This can help you in situations like it did with my clients, where we noticed that there were discrepancies in what the builder was charging, and we were able to call that out and ultimately decided to go another route because we knew we were getting a better deal with a different lender. That wouldn't have been able to happen if we didn't read the contract and understand what we were signing. You also should understand what builder warranties are included and not included when you're buying a new home. Typically, you're going to have a warranty for 1 year on anything that goes wrong with the house. They will come out and fix it. And then you'll also have a 7 to 10 year structural warranty if anything structurally happens to the home. Now, even though you're buying a new construction home, you still can hire an independent contractor to come out and do a home inspection on that new home. Now, this isn't typical or standard, but you still can do it in order to make yourself feel comfortable about your upcoming purchase. I mentioned to you earlier about that client that I have in Sky Canyon. They actually hired an independent third-party contractor to come in and do a home inspection because they haven't felt comfortable with the home builder as of late, and they want to make sure that this inspector is able to see if everything was done correctly so that they can protect their investment. Another big thing to protect yourself when you're buying a new construction home is understanding the HOA documents and actually reading them. I know there's a lot of pages that come with HOA documents, but they're super important. These documents are going to tell you exactly what you can and cannot do in your community. The last thing you want to do is make any adjustments to your home, and it's something that goes against the rules of your HOA community, and you have to make the changes back. Another thing to protect yourself is always prepare for delays in new construction homes. Even though they give you a construction deadline and timeline, that is always floating because it depends on materials and shipping times. For clients that I've had in the past that have experienced delays in their new construction building process, what I've done for them is we went out and found a short-term rental that helped them get settled in Las Vegas while they're waiting on their new home to be built. Lastly, when you go through a final walkthrough for your new construction home, I need you to pay attention to every single detail that is possible. This is your last opportunity to be on site with the construction manager and be able to call out everything that you see. You usually call it a blue tape walk, where you go around and put blue tape on everything in the home that you think needs a repair or an adjustment, and they will go through and repair those before you get your keys and move in. Now, you can still get things done with this new construction builder, but after you close and move into that home, you have to submit a claim, and that's usually a longer process. You want to make sure that everything is done and complete immediately when you move into that home, so you don't have the stress of having to call them and wait for them to fix something else. So the best way to avoid any of that is on your final walkthrough or your blue tape walk, pay attention to every detail. Nothing is too small and nothing is too big, and that's the best way that you're going to be able to protect that investment. For more videos about relocating to Las Vegas or Henderson, click on one of the other videos on the screen. I appreciate you all watching. I'll see you on the next one.